All right, 1 year ago later, we're here with Tim McMahon-T-Town Fire Chief. Tim, obviously, such a tragedy at T-Town. It was a year ago. The incident actually happened Friday, but Sunday was the actual date in advance. But talk to me about the situation again and how the wind even could have been a major factor in how it could have been so windy, but it was such a light wind that you could not get the thing to blow towards the Montrose instead of blowing towards T-Town.
Well, yeah, that particular night, the wind was kind of blowing from the north and blowing to the southwest. We went en route, and when we were probably 1.25 miles away from the scene, that's when we came upon it. We could smell it in the truck we were in. Of course, that led to evacuating the east side of town and working our way through T-Town, through the central part of town. Now, if the winds would have been out of the east pushing, or out of the west pushing east towards Montrose, then we would have had a lot less community involvement on this end of it. We would have been going house to house with a few of the farmers from here to there, but you're talking very few houses in a 4 mile stretch, whatever's left to Montrose, 3.5, 4 miles. So it would have been quite a bit different if the winds would have been out of the west.
I've never seen it before. I'm sure a lot of people haven't, but in your opinion, what was what was the moment like for you of literally you can't see anybody in their houses? It was so quiet in this town. I've never seen it before.
Yeah, it was really had that eerie effect on me. I did a lot of roaming around town to see if people were evacuating, and with the lights all being off and the whole town, no traffic, nobody walking, obviously, no vehicles, and very few anyway. That was eerie is about the only way I can explain that. It was something like you'd see in a movie.
So then to now, situations happen. Now we're a year later. What, as far as some of the victims, people who have been through it all, what can you tell us?
Well, in the last several months, I do know that everybody that wasn't deceased has now been released from the hospital, and this has been a few months ago already that they've been released from the hospital, at home recovering, but they do have long-term effects from this. So, but at least those people are home safe and doing well as far as I know. I had heard rumors that there was other victims that possibly outside of the hot zone area that did go into St. Anthony's ER to get checked out, and since they were released that night, but thought they had complications and were at least checked out. We don't know the amount of people that was. There was never no count on that. As far as everybody else close to the accident scene, those people have all been released from the hospital, and like I said before, they are at home recovering and probably going to have long-term effects from this situation.
As you mentioned before, Lord willing, something like this ever happens again, but have you guys been able to talk to your firemen, to your EMTs about if this thing ever does happen again, what do we do?
Well, sure. We've knocked this around so many times, and we've had a couple in-house debriefings amongst ourselves to kind of go over what was done and maybe what was not done. You never quit learning. I mean, you're constantly striving for more training, and it's going to be hard to replicate what had happened out there. But yes, we do discuss it, and I think, God forbid it ever happens again, we'll know a little more next time to do things a little bit different. But in the end, we're striving to train all the time for that kind of stuff.
What would be the most emotional part of the whole night from then till you can't get it out of your mind to now?
No, the most emotional part was probably finding out about the victims that were trapped out there or caught in the middle of all that, and that's obviously being the father and the 2 kids, and as well as the truck driver and the other 2 that were deceased. Think about it, maybe not every day, but just about every day, especially when I drive by the site out there. So, well, for my job, I'm on the road quite a bit, and whenever I go that way, it's pretty much just one way to go that way to get on the interstate or to go east from here. So, yeah, you're a mile away getting ready to pull up on that area, and it hits you immediately that, you know, hey, this is what happened, and it's never going to go away. That'll be embedded in my mind forever.
Oktoberfest was highly interrupted from the situation last year, having to move the situation from the T-Town Banquet Hall to Powell's Electric. They have it back this year at the KC Hall. What, in your mind, how important do you feel like the Civic Club, giving back to the firemen, all that going into play, they were planning so much of that, but giving back to you guys, how important was that for you?
It was extremely important, and last year, you know, they had all that food and soda and water, and all that went to the high school at the staging area. Tremendous amount of support from the Civic Club. I mean, I can't even put it in words hardly. They did a fundraiser for us last year. I'm sure everybody was aware of that. Was allowed us to actually we purchased a drone with funds that they gave us, and we're getting ready to get a photo op with them on that here shortly, I hope. But yeah, again, the Civic Club, they just wonderful for the fire department. The NTSB, it's still under investigation. I've been in contact with them throughout the whole year, and it's still ongoing yet. We really don't know much more than we did last year, you know, shortly after this all went down, but really don't have a lot of answers for that yet.